King Saul, once mighty, now shrank in fear, his courage eroded by the giant's relentless taunts. The army of Israel was paralyzed, not by swords but by terror. The valley floor became a graveyard of bravery, the silence after each taunt heavier than any shout. Every day, the challenge went unanswered. The giant grew larger in their minds, their faith smaller. The only sounds were the wind, a distant hawk, and the frantic beating of thousands of hearts. Goliath was more than a man. He was the embodiment of their deepest doubts. With each passing day, the monument of fear grew, and Israel's hope faded.
Why have you come out to battle? Am I not a Philistine? Choose a man to fight me. If he kills me, we'll serve you. If I prevail, you'll serve us.
The sun beat down upon the valley of Elah, a place suspended between two armies, Israel and the Philistines. On one ridge, Israel's soldiers stood, their spears trembling. On the other, the Philistines waited, confident and menacing. For 40 days, the valley echoed not with battle, but with a single taunting voice. Goliath of Gath, a giant clad in gleaming bronze, stepped forward daily, his presence alone a weapon. What began as a simple errand was destiny in disguise. The shepherd, armed with bread and cheese, was being called to the front lines of a nation's fear. David's journey was about to change everything.
David, take these provisions to your brothers at the front. See how they fare and bring back word.
Alone with only his sling and staff, David learned that true strength comes from faith, not size. His courage was forged in solitude, his relationship with God nurtured under the stars. He composed songs, his music a private conversation with the divine. One day his father, Jesse, called him from the hills.
I have faced the lion and the bear to protect my flock.
Far from the valley's fear, David tended sheep under open skies, his world defined by quiet responsibility. He knew the land intimately, every rock and stream, and faced danger not from men, but from wild beasts. Eliab saw arrogance, but David's faith was kindling, a fire that refused to bow to fear.
Why are you here? Go back to your sheep. You're just here to watch the battle.
What will be done for the man who kills this Philistine? Who is he to defy the armies of the living God?
Panic swept through the camp, men scattered in fear.
I defy the armies of Israel. Give me a man to fight.
David arrived at the camp, tension thick in the air, soldiers' eyes fixed on the valley below. He found his brothers, their relief at his provisions overshadowed by exhaustion. Suddenly, Goliath's daily challenge thundered across the valley. David set aside the king's armor, choosing instead his staff and sling, and faith. He would face the giant as he was, a shepherd, not a soldier. The battle would be fought on his terms. David's confidence was not in weapons, but in the God who had always been with him. The stage was set for an impossible confrontation.
I cannot go with these. I haven't tested them.
Saul offered his own armor, but it was heavy and unfamiliar.
Go and the Lord be with you.
Saul heard not bravado, but tested faith, a glimmer of hope.
I've killed lions and bears protecting my flock. The Lord who delivered me will deliver me from this Philistine.
You can't fight him, you're just a boy. He's a warrior.
Let no one lose heart. I will fight this Philistine.
David's bold words reached King Saul, who summoned the shepherd boy. The threat was meant to paralyze, but David did not falter. He faced the giant not with armor, but with faith and skill honed in solitude. The armies held their breath, the valley silent, but for the taunts of the giant and the steady steps of a shepherd. The moment of truth had arrived.
Come to me, and I'll give your flesh to the birds and beasts.
Goliath cursed David by his gods, promising a gruesome end.
Am I a dog that you come to me with sticks?
David walked alone into the valley, every step taking him closer to the heart of Israel's fear. The armies watched as he paused at the wadi, selecting 5 smooth stones, tools of his trade, not of war. He placed them in his shepherd's bag, preparing for battle in his own way. Goliath, seeing David, was filled with contempt. Goliath advanced, a mountain of armor and rage. David ran toward him, reaching for a stone. In one motion, he loaded his sling and whirled it overhead. The armies watched, breathless, as faith met fear on the battlefield. David released the stone, a silent missile aimed with practiced precision. Time seemed to slow as the stone flew toward its mark. The outcome would be decided in a single heartbeat. The world held its breath.
You come with sword and spear, but I come in the name of the Lord of hosts, whom you have defied. Today the Lord will deliver you into my hand, so all the earth may know there is a God in Israel.
David stood firm, undaunted by Goliath's threats. The Philistines, seeing their champion defeated, broke and fled in panic. The Israelites surged forward, their fear transformed into victory. The valley of fear became a field of triumph. David had not just slain a giant, He had resurrected a nation's courage. The impossible had become reality. The shepherd's faith had changed the fate of Israel. The legend was born in a single, stunning moment.
David ran to the fallen giant, drew Goliath's own sword, and severed his head. He held it high, a symbol that the reign of terror was over.
The stone struck Goliath's forehead, sinking deep. The giant staggered, shock and disbelief on his face. He fell forward, crashing to the earth. A mountain toppled by a shepherd's hand. For a moment, silence reigned. David claimed no special status, just faith and humility. The people erupted in celebration, singing, "Saul has struck down his thousands, and David his 10,000s." David's fame spread, but his heart remained that of a shepherd. He had walked into the valley with bread and cheese and walked out a legend. Yet, his core was unchanged, a young man who trusted God in the face of the impossible. The first chapter of his journey had ended, but his story was just beginning. The echoes of his victory would shape a nation.
I am the son of your servant, Jesse the Bethlehemite.
Whose son are you, young man?
In the aftermath, David stood before King Saul, the blood of the giant still fresh. Where others saw an undefeatable giant, David saw a mortal defying God. His true weapon was perspective, an unshakable trust in something greater than himself. The shepherd's return is a reminder. Our greatest strengths are forged in quiet, unseen moments. The daily battles prepare us for the giants we will face. David's story is proof that faith cultivated in solitude can change the world.
I did not become courageous in the valley of Elah. The valley revealed the courage I had nurtured for years.
Though David's life was forever changed, his spirit remained rooted in the lessons of the pasture. He had learned patience, courage, and faith in solitude, qualities that served him in the valley of battle. The story of David and Goliath is more than history. It's a timeless metaphor for our own lives. We all face giants, fear, doubt, illness, and injustice. Like Israel's army, we can be paralyzed by the size of our problems. The world's armor often doesn't fit, it only weighs us down. David's courage was not the absence of fear, but the refusal to be defined by it. He trusted in his unique skills and in a purpose greater than himself. The lesson endures. Find your own smooth stones, your skills, your convictions, your faith. Reframe your battles. Are you facing your giants alone or with a higher purpose? Faith, however you define it, lets ordinary people change the world. Run toward your giants. The victory may be closer than you think.